Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I don't know what time of the world you're watching this from. I just know that I am here from Rayhan's World of Connections, I believe, and the Institute of Peace. And I am here to speak again with Jason Grant about mindset. And Jason is quite an interesting individual, and I always look forward to speaking with him. And I'm just going to ask him to introduce himself, and we will take it from there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah. So my name is Jason Grant. That's just a name, not who I am. I am ultimately from I'm ultimately probably from another planet. Who knows? Who knows? Universal being in a physical human form. And so my story on this particular planet is that I was born in a country called Bosnia and then became a refugee in UK. I came to UK as a refugee in 95, and today I am doing very well for myself and my family and working on the mission of increasing world's consciousness as well as redesigning humanity. And really my core focus these days is coaching people on improving and upgrading their mindset. Whatever level you're at, we can take you to the next level. So whether it's a successful person going beyond success or somebody who's wanting to move out of effectively poverty into more kind of comfortable life, we can upgrade everyone who's willing to do so. That's a kind of summary for tonight. Every time I introduce myself in a slightly different way, so that was this time introduction.
And I actually like that introduction. I do that myself. And my reason for doing this, the audience should know too, is that I want to upgrade myself and make myself more successful. And I have been working for the past month really in changing my mindset. Not that I had a very negative mindset, but there were things that I was, negative about. You told me, oh, I know your problem. You're afraid of money. You're afraid to earn money because you think it's evil. I actually would like to talk about that a little more and learn from you a little more about that. Because I know my first reaction to it was, Jason, you're crazy. And then I said, no, you're correct. But how does one change that mindset?
Sure. I mean, it's, men or boys, males, however you want to call it, men like to think, with their heads. They like to think a lot and work out some sort of logical way to what is the situation with things, right? And ultimately, money as a technology, in a sense, money is a technology. Just like every other technology, right here, I've got a notebook, right? This notebook is not good or evil. It's just a notebook. Now I can use this notebook to hit someone on the head and potentially kill them, right? Or I can write my next novel in it and become famous. It's my own choice. So just like that, money is also our own choice, what we do with it. So if you make $1 million, you're welcome to give it all away if you want to, right? So if it's evil and you don't like it, you can give it away. But most of the time, you ask people who think that money is evil, if they had $1 million, what would they do with it? Most of the time, they would say, I wouldn't give it away. Right. So it's a sort of battle of thoughts in the head. But through logical deduction, you can work out that money is not good or bad. It just is, and it's our own minds and us who decide what we do with it. And ultimately, we all need some money in order to have a basic survival. So it's needed, at least on a basic level, to kind of have roofs over our heads, and food, and basic sustainables. And really, in modern day society, that includes quite a lot of things. Living, for example, in London, it includes paying for rent or mortgage, paying for, in my case, children's schooling, paying for travel, paying for petrol, paying for food. And then you don't want to eat junk foods. You want to eat not eat out in a 5-star Michelin restaurant, but eat some healthy food, which is slightly higher price. So it all adds up. Clothes, the hygienic things, all these kind of things, it all adds up. So we need money to have a basic normal human living, and then anything beyond that is our own choice, how much we want to make it, and so on. And most people will deny this until cows come home, that they don't have choice to make money. But that's all a lie. It's all nonsense, because I'm a proof of that. And so many other different people who've come from nothing and haven't spoken any language of the natives. Like, I didn't speak any English when I came to UK in 95. So it does happen through consistency. I don't even like to use the word hard work. It's really about consistently moving forward, because if you consistently move forward, guess what? The natural outcome of that is success, which usually in capitalist world comes in form of money, enough money to be comfortable. So it's really, I would personally recommend that form of logical deduction, right? I.e., working things out in your head. But perhaps for girls or women, females, it might be more of a feeling, right? Do you feel better, right? Do you feel better when you don't have money, or do you feel better when you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay your next bill, or how you're going to pay your buy yourself a sandwich tomorrow, right? And chances are, everyone with semi-sane head or heart in them will say, yeah, I feel better when I don't have to worry where the money's going to come from for my next sandwich, uh, and that's that. So you just know that it feels better to have enough money, and it also makes logical sense to have enough money. Therefore, if you conclude both of those things, what do you want? Do you want to feel better and for it to make sense, or do you want to feel worse and for it to not make sense? Then if you ask yourself, am I a dumb or a smart person? Chances are you're a smart person, and I can vouch for that for you. You're a smart person, so you're going to go towards feeling better and not having to worry. Right? That's it. And then if that is clear decision, then it's a question of not I can't make money, or I don't have a choice, or I don't feel like it. It's a question of, how can I make money? What choices do I have? And what is the best way of getting there?
Okay, I love what I'm doing. Literally, I
Mm-hmm.
love talking to people around the world one-on-one. I love hosting the show for English, or I wouldn't be doing it for over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the past 2 years, it has been a struggle to get
Mm-hmm.
enough, to have enough money
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I am wondering, will there be a sandwich tomorrow or
Mm-hmm.
today?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering that right now.
Yeah.
Now, knowing that that is a concern of mine, how do I
Mm-hmm.
change my mind to get me to where I need to be?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sure. Absolutely. Okay. So money, they usually say like, or people would think that wealth is product of money, right? So when I have money, I will be wealthy. It's actually the opposite that's true. Well, money is product of wealth. Okay. So when you understand and recognize that you're wealthy, then you will have money, right? Why? Because you have to recognize your own value. Okay. Money is just a representation of value. So, I don't usually use like cash anymore, but I would sort of wave a 10-pound note or whatever. But, that 10-pound note would represent value in other forms, right? Whether it's for that 10-pound note, like for example, this book that I bought from Amazon was £6.77. Okay. So that's £10 could certainly buy me one of these books and maybe vitamin C tablets. Okay. Or it could buy me a ticket, a whole day ticket around London to travel. Okay. So money is just a sort of abstract representation of another value. And so that value is also an abstract thing because different people will find different things valuable. So for example, depending on demand and supply, okay, some people will pay for certain things a lot more than for certain other things. When I was in war in Bosnia, the most valuable things in Bosnia were matches and candles because there was no electricity. So people would light up their rooms with matches and candles, and that was the most in demand thing. Also, there was lots of people dying, so moms and wives and sisters were lighting up candles on graves of people. It's a Christian tradition. So that was again much in demand. And so if you were selling candles and matches in Bosnia, you could really make loads of money because people were in demand and they valued that a lot. Uh, and so, in the modern day internet digital world, there is content that's valuable. That's why you see, a lot of people becoming popular with um, podcasts and writing articles and publishing and so on. So a common service these days is for somebody. So for example, I'm writing a book at the moment, but I'm writing a book in a way that I'm speaking it first. So I need somebody to type it up, literally type my talks up. Yeah.
right.
And I'm willing to pay for that. Why? Because for me, it's better to have somebody else type up what I've already spoken than to sit there and type it up myself. Yeah. And so that's a service that's kind of quite in demand these days. And, so that's kind of like a thing that's emerged, and it's not really been the case even 10 years ago, but nowadays it is. So one of the things, if you understand what your skills are, which it seems like your English language speaking, perhaps writing, typing, I'm not sure what your typing skills are like, but
Go on.
uh, you can basically monetize all of that, and you can monetize it from comfort of your own home. It's not a back-breaking work. It's not terribly exhausting. It's potentially quite meditative, and you can be steadily providing value to someone like me doing that. And obviously I would be providing value to you in form of payment. And that's symbiotic relationship. And if you're helping somebody else, they would be happy to pay you for that. And then you can just rinse and repeat the same thing.
Now, I'm not going to go deeply into this. I am sort of helping you now because you're telling me you're I'm getting the word out about you.
Mm-hmm.
And people are beginning to know, oh, this is what Jason does.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I'm getting my word out. Hey, I'm good at talking to people and getting this information out. So would you say this is part of something that could be monetized? Although it has not.
Okay, so this is a good question. It's the way, most of the time, the way people monetize content, okay, is by producing or giving the content away for free, okay, to provide value. Because when you provide value via content to other people, they, as you said, recognize what you do. You should be telling other people, if you need this, reach out. If you need that, reach out. Okay. And make that as clear as possible, because people really don't have that much attention and time to listen to what you are doing. Just tell them, if you need, let's say, to promote yourself on my podcast, reach out and we'll do it. But then usually people won't pay for that, or it's some sort of exchange of services and value there. But there is then, a clear monetizable, tangible product that can be promoted off the back of it. Another thing to promote, for example, is other services online. So you see a lot of these YouTubers, they'll say, hey, if you want to learn about how to write in English properly, go to this course, and then they'll promote like an affiliate link. So if anyone goes from you through that and signs up for that course, you'll get a percentage of that money. By basically promoting things, you are actually getting percentage and commissions off of that, while adding value through these conversations to other people, right? So you give something for free to get people to like you and recognize you and appreciate you, and then some of the things you ask money for, and that's basically a business exchange.
I'm not asking about. I'm saying this incorrectly, because I'm not saying, hey, I want you to pay me to do this.
Yeah.
Not where I'm coming from. But what I am asking is, I'm really good at talking. I do very well in chit chat. And when I first started this journey with Rayhan, I did it mainly for the fun, but also to get my name out there so people knew me, and people do know me now. But it was also because I loved doing it. And I thought, oh, I cannot earn money speaking to people in English. Or I always thought that. Now I'm beginning to change it. And how do I go from, hey, who would want to pay for me to speak with them in English, to, oh, yeah, if you're asking me to do this away from the show, it needs to be paid for. Does it? I don't know if I'm asking this clearly, and I don't want.
So I think basically, yeah, it's like this. Look, if we don't show up to things, and the reason why I'm doing this with you is because, first of all, I feel like doing it. Okay, if I didn't feel like doing it, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, and that feeling comes from some sort of like divine message, right? Divine message that's saying this is the right thing to do. I don't know why. I don't know what is even the point of this. Okay, but I'm going to give yeah, and the thing here is about trusting the process, right? And trusting that we are heading in the right direction. Not everything in life can be fully planned out, like military strategy. Okay, and to me, if I was to do that, I would really absolutely hate my life, right? Because I like to do these kind of soul conversations, okay? And because I like to explore possibilities. And so the idea is to like in some sense, like open your arms out to people, right? Be welcoming, okay? And when people show up to something, then you have an audience and a captive listening kind of collective or a community of some sort to send a further, message, commercial message to, which is what advertising is. Okay, it's a commercial. Yeah. And what that is like, I've spoken to 20 odd people, 30 people, and they all said they could do with this, or I'm speaking to people on Messenger or whatever, and they could all do with this. Like, I've expressed one thing that I need, and I'm whoever's watching this, if you are good at transliterating videos into typed up, well worded English sentences, reach out to me. I'm looking for someone. Okay, so if you're listening, we can connect and so on. So things come off of it, and we inspire others, and others might offer you, and so more you show up, more chance you have of actually being asked to do something for money. But at the same time, you also got to work out what are the things that you can charge money for, right? And that people are both willing to pay, and also where do you need to show up to do that. Example being, if you're wanting to teach people English language, okay, it could be the case that you need to be showing up on some sort of English learning platform versus Facebook, right? But I'm not sure. So that goes back to doing a little bit of research and finding out. Ultimately, I speak sometimes at conferences, and my principle is that I will mostly say yes to everything, to show up and speak, because again, it's good for my self-promotion. But often the time I do get paid, to speak at conferences, but I do get paid to speak about specific subjects, which are usually the, cryptocurrencies or designing or business strategy and things like that. So I have 3 or 4, topics that I'm a quote unquote expert at, and but it's tricky to find that work. So it's not a steady income stream, right? When it happens, great, but it doesn't happen, all the time. I'm not roaming the world like, Gary V or someone like that, and getting paid 200,000 per speech or whatever. Yeah.
I didn't know he did that well.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah. He does. Yeah, he does.
Now, back to this whole thing. Part of my mindset is, who would want to pay to speak in English? And yet I'm beginning to realize, because of the people who come to the Learn English show and the thousands of people we reach on a daily basis for this show, it's out there. I mean, there are people who would do it, but how do I find these people? What do I do about my mindset to put me in that spot?
Well, it works like this. Whatever you focus on, you attract. Okay, so if you are focused on attracting people who don't speak English and want to speak English, then you will attract them by either going to them. Usually it's about going to them. Okay, and finding them, whether they're like who wants to learn English. It's usually non-English speaking world, right? Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, Eastern Europeans, maybe Latinos and so on. I'm not sure, right? But um you can potentially also reach out to an English school. Another way to connect with these people is that whoever's teaching English online, right? If there's like an English learning school, you can go to their Facebook or Twitter followers, see who their Twitter and Facebook followers are, and then connect with those type of people, right? But ultimately you're going to have to put your message out there that you are doing this, and invite people, and set some sort of a price, and say I have prices for pretty much everything I do. If I'm doing design, there is a price for that. If I'm doing coaching, there's price for that. If I'm doing speaking, there's price for that. If I'm doing, advising people, there's price for that. If, there's price for everything. Okay. It's like a famous, movie line from Robert Redford movie with Demi Moore, when she said, that house is not for sale, and he goes, everything's for sale, right? Because ultimately there is a price for everything. uh, and so you just got to name your price and then work out who is able and willing to spend money on your service at that price. You may have to, it's like, if people are not buying, it could be because your price is too low. Usually it's because price is too high, but you can play with the price ranges and find out where the right price is. But if you're getting overwhelmed by people, then you can up your price, and that will put some off, and then you don't have that overwhelm. It's easy to deal with like heavy demand than low demand, right? So that's really that. You have to think of what is it that you're doing, and really loud and clearly propagate that quite regularly, and put a price on it, and invite people to sign up, and have a relatively clear process on how they can do that. It's if you're reaching out to them on Facebook, then the call to action is usually send me a message now, or comment, and I'll send you a message, and so on. And then you can either send them like a PayPal link to buy some sessions with you or whatever. Yeah. So
Well,
that's how it works.
that I understand. That's not hard for me. But what
Mm-hmm.
is a little challenging, and I'm being really open,
Yeah,
I
of
don't know
course.
how this is sounding to people who are watching, is it fair to ask people to pay to speak to me in English? Is it fair to ask for that money? We
It's
keep in mind the show that I do, we offer it to anyone who wants to come, and there's no fee on it. And of course, the time is limited about how much time I can give to a person, because I can
yeah.
have like up to today, up to 10 people in an hour and a half program. And that's not much time, much practice time at all.
Yeah. So I think if let's reverse that question, right? Is it fair for you to be spending all your time for free teaching someone English?
No.
Exactly. So that's your answer for whether it's fair for you to charge to teach someone English. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
So how do I change that mindset of mine who says, we're just chatting in English?
Well, first of all, you don't ever use the word just. There's no such thing as just.
I
Yeah.
understand that when I'm talking to people about it. I'm talking about this mind here,
Yeah.
understanding it. Does that make sense? If I'm
It does
talking
make
to
sense.
someone, I would never
Yeah.
say
Yeah. So,
some of the things I said now.
yeah. Yeah, but if you say it even to me in this kind of open conversation, it's I'm actually training myself in something that's called statement analysis. Okay, and statement analysis, you might know this. Maybe it's worth looking this up for yourself. It's actually used by FBI interrogators to work out if someone's lying, okay, or if someone's narrative building. The word just indicates that the person is narrative building. Anything beyond just is all just made up story. So when you say, I am just speaking to someone in English, everything beyond just is, quite frankly, BS. Okay. It's not true. That's the truth of the human mind. So So whatever you said after just is I discard, just is a flag to say that's not true. You're lying to yourself again. Yeah. And so you speak to people to teach them English. There's no just. That's what you do. And that's what you get paid for. People need speaking time with English natives to train. You're a trainer. You're an English trainer. Trainers get paid money. That's it. There's no just.
So keep the show, but take just out of it.
Well, just understand. Look, just even I say understand. Yeah, you see how. Well, if I say to you, just understand, it doesn't sound anywhere near as convincing as understand that your value is teaching, training, coaching people how to speak English. They require a speaking partner. I've been asked this before by randoms in London. Can we hang around and speak English so I can train in speaking? I look at my watch. No, it's not valuable for me. It's not worth it. It has to be a value exchange. And so I'm happy to speak to someone if they pay me. But if they don't pay me, it's not just. Yeah, it's not just. It's not fair. And I don't do things that are not fair because I have enough self-respect to not disrespect myself. Yeah. And so should you be as well. Okay. You're a wise, experienced person, tribal elder, right? And, those people are very valuable. And so that's that. You're a valuable person, and money is value, one form of value. Right? So there's a clear sort of professional service there that you can provide, but again, you need to find a pool of potential customers who are willing and able to pay for this, right? And that's why these kind of shows can potentially attract those people, and you can then, as people are watching, you can encourage them to reach out to you, or just put a 1 in the comments, say like, are you interested in speaking to someone to practice your English? Put a 1 in, and then I'll reach out to you, and we'll make a deal on speaking, and if they say yes, I'm interested, you say, how many hours do you want to speak for? And if they say 4 hours, say 4 times whatever your hourly price is, you send them that in PayPal. When they pay, you're happy to speak to them for 4 hours about whatever they want to speak about, and
But
rinse and repeat. Yeah.
That gets it going. Maybe I should do that today.
Yeah, exactly. The best time to start is 20 years ago. The next best time is now.
So, people, if you're out there and you want to speak with me for more than 5 or 10 minutes in English, put a 1 in the comments and I will do it with you.
Yeah.
We'll do
and
it.
If anyone's watching this in my channel, and you're looking for an English trainer, put a comment in my channel and reach out to me, and I'm happy to forward you over to Carla, the best English teacher in the world online.
Thank you. I like hearing that. I hear that a lot on the show, and maybe that's something I should say on the show, because people often put in the comments, I want to talk to you in English, and I say, come to the show, but I can't talk to you. And I'm like, yes, you can. Come to the show. So instead of hearing people say that, we'll start with putting a 1 there. You want to learn? We begin.
There is a statement in Bosnian language, which I'll translate into English, that says, if 10 people tell you you're a donkey, buy a saddle and put it on your back. Okay. And what that means is that, usually 10 people can't be wrong in what they're telling you, So if 10 people are telling you that you're the best English teacher in the world, accept that. Call yourself the best English teacher in the world online. Okay. And that's that.
I have heard, actually, I have heard that many times during the show.
There you go. There you go.
People are
It's
getting
true.
that confidence. So getting them to come to the show and speak, okay, you don't want it to come to the show, we'll do it privately.
Yeah.
But I need to know.
Yeah, exactly. And people, the biggest fear people have, and this is from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The biggest fear people have in the world is public speaking. And then public speaking in a foreign language, gosh, that's double biggest fear. So a lot of the time, people will need teaching and coaching and correction, okay, on things that are slightly wrong, can be said better, even down to things like, where do you take a breath? Sometimes I personally struggle with W's and V's. I'll pronounce the V as a W and W as a V. If I'm a little bit tired, whatever, I start, my tongue gets twisted. All that kind of stuff. So it could be subtle things like that, or it could be just like, how else can I say, welcome to my party tonight, or something like that. How can I be a little bit more extravagant in my expression, or just straightforward, like, let me speak and I'll speak and you correct me, right? There's all sorts of different little teaching kind of games, right, that you can play with people. When that gets, also, I would recommend this as well. If and when that gets recorded on video, that becomes a tangible product. That becomes very much a lesson, that's not just once, because like speaking is like a thing that requires a lot of repetition. So if you say something to me, I might hear it first time and I repeat after you and say, okay, but then 20 minutes later I'll forget. But if I have a recorded video, I can re-watch it, right, and practice in my own time. So that then becomes even higher value thing, rather than just, us speaking for once and it's not recorded, right? So you see how this becomes like a thing that is a valuable stack of products and services that you can offer. And yeah,
So if someone, now that you said something, so if someone just would want to have recorded videos, which I do every day, they could buy it from me, buy the videos from me. You want them? I'll sell it to you.
Exactly. So it's like, people are fascinated by shiny objects and things. People pay for things, and so and it's relatively easy to say, here is a notebook, right? And then put price on something that's tangible. You could, it's like, okay, well, notebook, I can touch it, I see it's there, it's real. Okay, so then I understand that comes at a price. Whereas when you're talking to people and say, well, you're going to have to pay me for my time, and then people are like, well, I don't value your time, or God knows what's going on in their mind. But then if you say to them, you pay for the recorded lessons that we do, then they're like, oh, I'm getting something tangible. That's a lot more valuable than what I perceive your time to be worth. Yeah. So that becomes a different mindset than for them. Yeah. And it's also a slightly different proposition as well. I bet you my bottom dollar that most English teachers online do not record their sessions. Yeah.
And I record all my sessions.
Yeah.
And they're all on YouTube. So, So I shouldn't make them free on YouTube anymore. They should know if they want a copy.
So the way I look at it is like this. I do some generic courses, okay, on, like, my subject is user experience design. So I do a generic course that doesn't go into specifics. And that has a certain price to it, so people can just buy that course off the shelf and just go through the set process. Okay. And they don't have any specifics around any specific projects or what they need to do specifically and so on. But if they're jumping on the call with me, then I'm saying, this is all about you. Okay. It's all about you. I want to teach you what you don't know. Okay. And the course is just preset there. They might know 75% of it, right? Which is they shouldn't be paying for it, but it's hard for me to not know what they don't know. Okay. But when they jump on the call with me, I'm coaching them saying, let's get you to become better specifically, irrespective of what the course syllabus is. And it might be the case that they need to redo the same lesson 7 times over until it really sticks in. Okay. If they're stuck on that. But that's for them. That's the most valuable thing that they could be doing. And the next person is different, and the next person is different, next person is different. Yeah.
So
it's like the
person.
Exactly. So you're doing a generic course, and then your coaching or teaching one-on-one is specific to that person. And you might have to pull it back all the way. You might have to increase the strength, right? And so on, depending where the person is.
Of course, that makes sense. And that's what I do. I mean, I have a lady who comes to the show, and there's another lady who's there with me 2 days a week, and she'll say, call her my name. And no, you can't do that anymore.
Exactly.
And that's a lesson in itself. But
exactly.
for someone to learn to do it on a regular basis, they need to take the time and begin thinking and begin learning. So I do it individually and we get it together.
Exactly.
But meanwhile, have it available so they see what I do and understand what I do.
Yeah, you need to have some examples so that they can sort of validate you and verify you and so on. And the way I do this is, for me, first of all, I love what I do. So for me, this is kind of like an ongoing thing that's my passion. But also, like, over the years, it becomes a trail, of the fact that I've shown up regularly and spoken about different subjects with different types of people. So sometimes you get these people who are like, oh, you're just doing everything for money, blah blah blah. It's like, there's so many things I do for free. It's crazy. Sometimes it's just kind of like, I'm double checking myself, and I'm like, why am I doing so many things for free? But ultimately, the it all pays back, from different places, but it all pays back.
And I don't mind doing this for free. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah,
and that's
it's therapeutic in a sense.
I enjoy it too much. But
it's a balance. It's a balancing act. Yeah.
But if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be good at it.
Exactly. So it's always like a give and take. It's a two-way process, and that's just that. And I think you just basically need to you see, I said just and all this, like, just and basically
just tell me.
But I check myself on this. Okay. So I'm chatting BS there after that, just because there's nothing that's just. Yeah, there's like most things require some effort. Okay, it's not just going to happen. You need to do something, and so the idea here is that you need to be very clear around explaining what is it that you do, how you do it, why you do it that way, what the value is to the person that works with you. Because guess what? The person that's going to pay you money, they care about themselves the most.
Right.
Yeah. We all care about ourselves the most. We can talk for England, that we care about other people first. No, we care about ourselves the most first. Yeah. So your customer that's paying you money, they care about themselves. So they're like, what's in this for me for this money? And you need to tell them explicitly, you will spend quality time with me speaking English. I will correct you and improve your language. You will become a great speaker. You will become a confident speaker, whether you're speaking at conferences or speaking at small party or just speaking with your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband or future wife or husband. Okay, whatever you're learning English for, I will get you to be confident and comfortable and clear in speaking it properly, in good enough, yeah, and beyond good enough. And what you're paying for is the custom, tailored, proper, professional coaching and teaching from the best English online teacher in the world.
I like
That's my pitch for
that.
you. Just like repeat what I said there and you'll start making money.
Do you
God, that was
want me
good.
to repeat it now?
No, it's fine because this is recorded. That's why I like recording these things. You know, just take that little snippet and put it out there. You know.
Wow. I
Okay,
needed
let me
to
actually let me repeat that as a sort of promo for you. Okay, so
okay.
I'm going to like take this little snippet and cut it out, and this is going to be promo for your online teaching. Okay,
How do I cut
big
it out?
breath.
I'll have to
We'll find out.
learn.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way. Okay. Hi everyone. I recently met Carla, and she is, in my opinion, the best online English teacher in the world. She's charismatic, she's fantastic, her vocabulary is exquisite, and I love the way she approaches her wisdom-based teaching and coaching of anyone who wants to improve their English and upgrade their English-speaking mindset. Whether you want to get your next girlfriend, boyfriend, speak better to your wife or husband, speak at a dinner party, speak at your wedding, speak at a conference, just have chit chat with English speaking world, Carla is the best person to teach you there. Get her now, book her now. She's in high demand. Comes highly recommended from me.
I love it.
There you
We
go.
figure out how to cut it. I have no idea how to cut that out.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
Oh, will you work with me on that?
Yeah. We'll download the video and then just cut out that little snippet. And then you can put that on your website or wherever, right? As like a little testimonial or something. Okay.
That is great. We just need to figure out how to do it. I
Mm-hmm.
also do want to mention that you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be at LIFT 2019, are you not?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, I'm planning to go and speak there about mindset and business and all these kind of things. So yeah, it's a big sort of trip for me, and looking forward to it. The guys from Lyft have been very kind and dear to me, and they've been inviting me for a while now. So this time around I wasn't able to escape the pressure. So yeah, there you go, I'm going.
I think Rayhan got involved with that too. I could.
Everyone got involved. I think half of Pakistan got involved.
What are the dates so the audience can?
I think it's 1st to 8th of November. Yeah, so that's when the conference is happening.
And it's in Lahore or Islamabad?
Yeah, I think it's happening in both places. I think it's happening in 3 places if I understood it correctly. I've never actually even been to Asia at all, so for me it's like a big trip in that sense. So yeah, I'm quite sort of contemplative about it, in the sense of like planning out my approach to the whole thing. Yeah.
I want to point this out because we have quite a few viewers now. I don't know how long they've been on, but I know that LIFT is happening. It's very exciting. I wish I could be there. I cannot this year, maybe next year. but look at the quality of speakers. If we have one person just like Jason, think of how I think there's 100 speakers who will be speaking. Think of the joy and how much you can learn by being a part of Lyft and being in the audience. Is it going to be online too, or is it just in person?
I'm not sure if it's going to be online, but certainly in person, it's a huge conference. I think there's going to be 20,000 plus attendees and hundreds of different speakers across different verticals. They've split this up into all sorts of different industries and so on. So it will be huge, basically.
Well, we will not be talking that week at all.
Yeah.
That I can understand, but look at the quality. I just happened to see it today because I'm tagged in a lot of those advertisements, and Jason was featured. What an amazing conference that will be to be a part of, or just be there to learn. Go. Yes.
Awesome. So conscious of time, we said we're going to do half an hour. We already blasted through that way past. So a couple of final thoughts. I'll ask you to conclude with a final thought from your own wisdom.
Oh, you're asking me.
Yes.
I was going
yes, I'm putting you on the spot here. I'm putting you on the spot, Carla.
I'm used to being on the spot. I put everyone on the spot every day. You gave me a new way of looking at advertising. I guess I have always been a little scared to say I'm the greatest teacher, but I have so much to offer. And for me to say I don't have anything to offer, or I don't deserve to be paid, is something that's totally out of the water. And I need to change that and say, yes, I have something to offer the world. And I might as well make myself comfortable offering it to the world. Thank you.
Exactly. And the best time to start is now, because really all we have is now. There are basically English learners out there who are desperate for your teaching and coaching, and somebody who's compassionate like you and wise and, patient to listen and work with people. There are people who are desperate for that. And it's a crime and a shame to not help them, right? And the best way to do that is in a symbiotic exchange of value. So they pay you and you help them in what they want to do. So that's that. Okay. There's nothing shameful about it. There's no bad feelings about it. It's actually only just and right to do that. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That was a quantum leap. I need to digest some of that, but thank you so very much.
Thank
you. Is there anything you want to offer the audience before we go? And if you're interested, just put it in the chat and I will get back to you.
Sure. I just like to offer for anyone who wants to work on upgrading their mindset, which is ultimately the CEO of their life. Your mind is governing your life, and upgrading that mind is upgrading your entire life. If you're open to that and willing to make a change for the better, shed the stuff that doesn't work and bring in and accept the stuff that does, reach out to me and we'll speak and we'll get you there much faster than you can ever imagine. Typical clients that I deal with, the stuff that or the goals that they set out before doing coaching with me, things that they set out to do in 5 years, they achieve in 1 month. So that's a kind of power of being coached by somebody who knows what they're doing and who is well equipped to deal with all sorts of different mindsets. So that's my offer. And thank you very much, Carla, once again for speaking to me, and hopefully this has been of some value to you, and I'm looking forward to you making some money, as much as possible, really, from your teaching and coaching online.
Can we keep this series going a little
Definitely, absolutely.
What value you gave to me, think of the value of the people who may have watched this today. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's ripple effects. And also for anyone who's watching this, please share and like and subscribe, follow Carla, follow me, Jason Grant on Facebook. Also on website is jasongrant.in. I write things about mindset, thinking, all that kind of stuff. You can also see what projects that I worked on as well. So yeah, connect, share, help out. If you're a writer, reach out to me. I'll pay you to write some things that are already spoken online. So yeah, it's all up for grabs. Now's the time.
And follow me on Facebook. YouTube is Giggle Fest University. And my website is gigglefestuniversity.com. All these videos will be on both my website and YouTube. Just go and visit us. And with that, we're going to go out with a smile and some laughter. And
always a big smile from you and laugh.
And I will be back maybe a little later with another interview. Jason,
awesome.
Stick around for a moment. Namaste and
namaste.